If I wanted to build my first AI agent from absolute zero this year, knowing everything I know after coaching 50 plus non-technical founders and shipping AI systems for over 100 companies, I would not touch n8n. There are 3 exponentially easier tools that get your first real agent live in hours instead of months. And in this video, I'll show you what they are, why they beat n8n, and the one framework every new AI builder needs 100% clear before building anything, so you don't waste a ton of time. Let's start with the framework. Before we talk tools, I want to give you a simple mental model, because if you mix these 3 things up, you'll either overbuild or massively overcomplicate your life. There are 3 main ways we use AI today: chatbot, copilot, agents. And it's not either or. All 3 are useful in different situations. First, the one everyone knows, chatbots. This is ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok, all of the tools where you open a text box, type something, and get a response back. It's a synchronous, text-based conversation with an AI thought partner. You ask, it answers. You ask again, it answers again. Chatbots are amazing for brainstorming, drafting email, rewriting copywriting, answering how do I do X type of question. But here is the key. You still have to show up and drive. AI answers questions and does tasks on your command. Second, we have copilots. You know you're in a copilot when most of the screen is the thing you're working on, your code editor, your slide deck, your document, and somewhere on the side, there's an AI panel helping you. If you use, for example, Gamma to generate slides while you're editing them, or Lovable to help you build up a website while you tweak the layout, all of those are copilots. And then there is the third paradigm, AI agents. This is where things get interesting. Agents are not a place you go to do work. Agents are doers of work. They take actions on your behalf. They can brief you before every meeting. They can take notes on all your sales call and generate follow-up tasks and follow-up proposal. They can send weekly reports. They can go and screen your competitor ads once a week. Once you configure them, they keep running in the background. You don't have to go to a chatbot or go to Lovable and start typing for them to do something. They literally do work on your behalf. So what actually differentiates an AI agent from just a fancy chatbot? You should look for 3 characteristics. An agent should be proactive, which means it should be able to wake up on its own to do work without you having to go and prompt it. It should be integrated, which means it should have access to your tools like your CRM, your calendar, your email, or your database, and should be able to take action directly within this tool. And the third quality you're looking for is it should be able to do the task many times without you having to go there and tell him to do, and it should learn how to do it better because it does it multiple times. And so with that in mind, let's talk about n8n. If you want to learn how to automate cool things in your business, or if you want to start selling automation to clients, but you're a non-technical person, you don't have a technical background, I always say to the people I coach and to friends, n8n is way too hard as a starting point. It will literally take you months to build the first automation. For those who don't know, n8n is basically Zapier for coders. It's a visual tool where you can drag and drop little bubbles called nodes onto a canvas, connect them with wires, and make your apps talk to each other. Think of it as a digital circuit board. On the surface, it looks like a simple flowchart. Under the hood, every node is just a different chunk of code and API calls. So if words like API, token, webhook make you a bit nervous, n8n is going to feel like learning how to build a plane while you're trying to fly it. It's not for you. It's just not going to make the cut for you. Here is what it looks like in practice if you're non-technical. You spend hours figuring out how to connect a CRM or a calendar. You read the docs about authentication, scopes, access token. All of that is before you've built anything, right? You're just trying to understand how it works. That's why I think n8n is a bad starting point for most founders and operators. There's a new generation of tools that let you get your first agent live really fast in few hours, prove value, and only later, if you really need it, drop down into something like n8n when you need more complexity. So let me show you what I recommend instead. Before I reveal the 3 tools I recommend, a quick introduction about myself and the channel. Hi, I'm Pietro. I create educational resources on how to leverage AI for non-technical people on LinkedIn and I just started posting here on YouTube. On the channel, you'll find step-by-step tutorial on how to create AI agent, chatbot, and other AI resources. You'll also find a lot of tutorial on how to use this tool, which I'm about to introduce to you. The first and easiest tool I recommend for non-technical builders is Relay. I recommend it because it's my personal favorite and the one I use the most. In my opinion, this is the easiest way right now to build valuable agents for your business. To help you understand what Relay can do, I'll compare it to n8n, right? You can see a comparison here on the screen with a lot of data points. I'll talk you through the three main sections that differentiate Relay versus n8n. First one, setup and integration. Even just on the setup, n8n requires serious technical chops. You're dealing with API keys, tokens, webhooks. You're manually wiring every integration. Even when you need to connect it to an LLM like OpenAI, it means you have to deal with authentication and with some more complex technical things. On Relay, it's basically log in and you're ready to build. It has already built-in integration with all of the major LLMs, OpenAI, Claude, Perplexity. You can all use them inside Relay. And it has native integration with a lot of the most common app, like it's already connected with Notion, it's already connected with your CRM, so you don't have to do anything manually that requires a technical connection or an API. Secondly, when you're building an agent, on n8n, you build every step manually. You have to drop a node, configure inputs and outputs, map the data manually, repeat that 20 times for every small action you want to do in a workflow. It is super flexible, but it's slow and very technical, which means most non-technical teams never get past the idea stage or the training stage because it's just too complex to get there and it requires proper training, weeks and weeks of training. On Relay, you can literally turn prompts into agents in minutes. You have two ways of building. You can chat with a copilot and say stuff like, when a new lead fill out my form, check they're qualified, and send me a notification and update my CRM. Or use plain English rules like, when a row is added to a Google Sheet, run this AI check. It reads like English and not like doing something technically complex. You can then tweak things in a simple flow editor, but you're never writing code and you're never dealing with the technical background of mapping data, for example. The third thing which I want to highlight, which is particularly like about Relay, is that the fact that you can include a human in the loop. You can let the agent draft email and messages and you approve or edit before they're sent. That's perfect for sales, support, or anything where tone and nuance matter and where you want to build your profiles that the AI is doing the right thing without giving the full power to them. This is incredibly complex to do in n8n, and Relay is literally built to do that. So the way I summarize it is, if you want to feel like a hacker, use n8n. If you want to actually automate your business this week using this video or the other video on my channel, use Relay. Relay is just one of many tools of this new generation that allows you to build with plain English. I'm going to drive you through two more options, which I really like. The second tool I often recommend is Lindy. Instead of building workflow node by node like on n8n, Lindy is much more describe the job and the tool builds itself. You might say, build me a recruiter agent that screens candidates, schedules interview, and sells follow-up. It builds the entire workflow for you. Some of the things which Lindy is very strong at as compared to Relay, for example, is it has built-in memory, so the agents remember context over time. It self-correct. If an agent hits an error, it can't do something, it tries to fix itself instead of just stopping dying and bringing you a support ticket. Lindy also has support for things like phone agents, and it has a huge amount of built-in native integration, more than Relay. Personally, I like Relay more because it gives me more control and the perfect balance between deterministic and automated. But both options are really, really good. The third option I like and recommend, especially if you're doing heavy data work, is called Relevance AI. This is ideal if you want to do things like scrape or process hundreds or thousands of records at once, enrich or clean dataset, run AI across big tables of information. It's slightly more technical than Relay and Lindy, but still way, way easier than n8n for bulk data workflow. So if your use case is, I want to process 1,000 websites or 10,000 rows in a spreadsheet with AI, Relevance is probably the best option. So let's summarize this really simply. The goal is to automate your business, not to become a part-time software engineer. Here is the cheat sheet. If you want reliable automation with human control, use something like Relay. Great for lead handling, follow-ups, a competitor screamer, reminders, and all things operation in general. You can find a lot of template on my YouTube channel or on their website too. If you want to build an agent, which is natural language, use something like Lindy. Great for end-to-end process like recruiting, customer onboarding, etc. If you're doing heavy data processing, look at Relevance AI. Great for large-scale scraping, enrichment, and analytics. If you love debugging errors, reading logs, then go wild with n8n. I don't recommend it if you're not technical, especially at the beginning. Treat it as it's an advanced tool, not a step one. If you want to start actually building AI agents instead of just watching videos about them, I've dropped links to all of the tools below. All of them have a free account. Especially Relay has a very generous free account that gives you over 500 credits, and signing up with my link you get also some extra ones. Go try it. Build a tiny workflow today, even if it's just check my calendar and send me a summary of my day, and then go on my YouTube channel, go on their website, find more templates and build more and more complex one. But it won't take you weeks, it will take you days. n8n still makes sense if you have a technical background. If words like API, tokens, nodes, webhooks don't scare you, if you want maximum control and maybe you even want to self-host to reduce your cost, then n8n does make sense. But my point in this video is don't start there. Don't learn it just in case. Start with tools that let you ship value quickly, get your first wins, and only drop down into deep technical tools when you have truly outgrown the simple ones. Thank you very much for making it this far. See you soon.